Hello YouTube, I'm Violet. I'm 41 years old and I'm transgender. So first let me say I have some notes, so if I am looking down or to the left or to the right, that's just me referencing my notes. Sorry if I have to look at them, but there was a lot that I wanted to talk about, so I had to write it all down so that I would remember. So first of all, I am 16 days on HRT. So I just started barely a little over 2 weeks ago, and it all kind of happened all at once, where I did a lot of things all at once. It just kind of all built up. So anyway, that's how far I am so far. I am not on blockers, just on estrogen at the moment. And the reason I'm making this video is more to have an experience that was shared for someone that's older. There's a lot of younger people transitioning now, which is awesome. I wish I had, on multiple occasions, transitioned when I was younger. I wasn't that lucky, or I didn't have the guts that a lot of the younger kids do. So this is kind of the point in my life where I finally said enough is enough, and I have to do what I have to do to make myself happy. So yeah, I hope to offer a different view than a lot of the other videos out there for someone that's older and starting to transition, someone in their midlife like me. Like I said, I'm 41, so I've got a lot of years behind me at this point. A lot of wasted years for me as far as being who I wanted to be and being happy with who I am. But that's in the past and I'm moving forward now. So I guess I'll want to start with a little bit of my backstory. I guess for me, I really started to know something was different in my preteens. I would kind of explore things with my sister's clothes and my mother's clothes when they were out of the house, in secret, of course. And it was kind of a weird feeling because back then we didn't really know what transgender was. It was around, but it wasn't really talked about. So I had no idea that this is what the reasoning behind why I gravitated more towards feminine things. So it was all done in secret, and I can't believe I never got caught. But because I did it quite a lot, but no one ever caught me. No one ever suspected, as far as they told me. So I kind of continued to do that in secret for a very long time. I don't remember anything earlier than that, as far as being clues that I was trans. I always played with the boy toys and did the boy things outside in the dirt and stuff like that. But I have a feeling that that was a lot more due to that was what was expected, and that's what all the other boys were doing. So I kind of just jumped in and did that too. I can remember it's kind of a weird I don't even know what to call it. It's weird. I remember watching G.I. Joe as a kid and seeing this character called the Baroness. And the Baroness was a very put together, femme fatale, skin tight bodysuit or skin tight catsuit, hair, makeup, everything. And I really gravitated towards that character. And I didn't understand why, but I kind of have an idea now. So maybe there was a little clues earlier on, mainly because it did seem like I always liked the feminine characters in the cartoons and the shows I was watching as a little kid. I didn't express that, but yeah, those were always my favorite characters. As the years went on, I also grew up and, hit middle school, and I hit high school. And during that time, I didn't really make a lot of friends. It was always very difficult for me to make friends and um, be in relationships with a girl or anything because something always felt off. I always felt off. I never felt like I was part of the group. I never felt like I was really all that interested in dating and doing the normal teenage stuff. I kind of retreated and stayed to myself, and this went on for quite a long time, all the way through high school and after. I very rarely have had many friends, and most of the time they don't last very long, and it's because largely because of me. I can understand that now. It's largely because I didn't make the effort to hang out with them and communicate with them, and I think a lot of that had to do with because I wasn't being myself with them. I was constantly having to be the male version of me, and it was never something I wanted to do. I never wanted to be another one of the guys in the conversation or the group. It never appealed to me. I never really had a lot of girlfriends either, but I think that was more out of fear. I didn't explore those paths, and I didn't gravitate towards the girls and try and be friends with them because I was a boy, and I didn't think that they would accept me probably, but it's a regret of my life that I have on frequent occasions retreated from friendships and relationships and just disappeared because I was uncomfortable, because I didn't want to put in the effort, and that was probably because I wasn't being true to myself. I have thought about transitioning several times, multiple times over the years, all the way from when I was in my late teens, 20s, 30s, but there was always an excuse. I always used excuses. I was a lot of fear. I was always afraid of coming out to my family and them not accepting me. I was afraid of coming out in general and being myself. It can be a very scary thing when the world sees one version of you and you want them to see someone else. And presenting that person to them the way that you want them to see it is a very difficult task. So I struggled with that for a very long time. Obviously, I'm 41 years old, and I've known, probably I was truly transgender, known I was transgender and knew what it was called since my late teens, early 20s probably, when I found some really great friends online that kind of introduced me to that and showed me what trans was and explained it to me, and a lot of stuff clicked in place for me at that moment. I always wanted to present as the female character in the games. I wanted people to see me as a female. Once I was of age when the internet came and chat rooms came around, and the first thing I did was go into chat rooms as a girl and present myself as a girl. I wasn't trying to catfish or anything like you hear about all the time. I just found somewhere that I could be myself. I could present as who I truly was and not have to worry about what people saw and denying that I was a girl. So that was a big time in my life. I kind of got really drawn into chat rooms and video games where I could be myself, and it cost me a lot probably because I would constantly put that over real life because that's what I wanted. I wanted people to see me as a woman, and I craved that so bad that I would put the online world and that online personality ahead of things in the real world, including friends and relationships. Even now, knowing that I was transgender and knowing what it was, I still couldn't bring myself to come out. I still struggled with it, and I still struggled with telling the world what I really wanted and who I really was, which, of course, is a common thing. And another common thing is it led to depression. I have struggled with depression over the years several times. It kind of comes and goes, and it kind of develops for me as a numbness. My emotions get numb. My care for anything just dwindles, and all I want to do is just be by myself, be alone, and maybe the only things I ever do when I'm like this are go into a world where I can be myself, go into a world where I can be a girl and show and present as that side. So I haven't always taken as good a care of myself as I should have due to that depression. I am currently working on that a lot more, regular doctor's visits and dentist visits and everything. I'm trying to be a lot better at that. So because I want, now that things are happening, I want to be the best version of myself that I can. And I want to be around as long as I can. So I am actively trying to take better care of myself and be the person I want to be. I felt like life was passing me by is the reason that I finally acted. I'm 41 years old, and I have wasted a lot of years, as far as I'm concerned, in fear of being who I am, who I wanted to be, of showing my friends, my family, and the rest of the world who I truly am, because I was afraid it wasn't okay and it wasn't accepted. But it is okay. And it may not be accepted by everybody, but it's still okay. And it is accepted by a lot of people. So anyone that's struggling with that, I've been there. And I want you to know that it's okay. People will accept you. Not everyone. You may lose some people. I know a lot of people that have lost people because they came out. But those people weren't ready for you, and they weren't the right people for you. You need people that are going to accept you for whatever makes you happy. And that's what I'm looking for now. I want people that are going to accept me for who I am and whatever makes me happy, doing whatever makes me happy. I kind of had a lot of things happen all at once. It started with just the need to do something, and that need to do something, I booked a laser hair removal appointment to get my face and neck done with laser hair removal. And just booking that appointment, I wanted more. And so I got online and I looked up a telehealth facility locally that had telehealth for transgender individuals. And I made an appointment with an endocrinologist to talk about getting hormones. Within a week, I had had my first laser hair removal. I talked to the endocrinologist. She'd given me a diagnosis of gender dysphoria and prescribed me estrogen. I started taking it that Friday, and it all happened so quickly. And as soon as I had those pills, I couldn't stop myself from coming out. I went to see my mother and my middle sister, and I told them. I said, I'm transgender. And I was terrified. I didn't know how they would accept it. But they did. Both of them said, That's fine. They didn't understand why I hadn't told them. They didn't have an idea that I was, but whatever makes me happy is what they want. So they were accepting. And honestly, that was a surprise to me. They're kind of left or right leaning as far as politics go, but they accepted me. And that's really all that matters. And after that, a couple days later, I came out to my father and my eldest sister. And again, it was the same thing. They were both very accepting. They both understood that it's my life and I have to do whatever makes me happy. And whatever that means is what I need to do. So I was honestly very surprised on how my family reacted. And I'm very happy with how my family reacted because there are horror stories and it happens all the time where trans individuals come out to their family and their family just disowns them or doesn't accept them or flat out doesn't allow them to be who they want to be if they're underage. And that's not an easy thing to deal with. I didn't have it happen, but I had a lot of fear that it would happen, and I know what that felt like. So I can only imagine what someone not being accepting of me would feel like. I'm sure I will run into that. I still haven't came out at work, so I'm sure I'll run into individuals that aren't going to accept me as a woman, that aren't going to accept me for trying to be the best version of myself and make myself happy. But in the end, they don't matter. The only thing that matters is me. So I'm going to do whatever I have to do to make myself happy. So at this point, I have been on hormones for 16 days, like I said earlier. I haven't had anything as far as results go that I can tell. And as far as the laser hair removal goes, it didn't seem like the first session did really anything. So I'm really hoping the next ones actually start to tackle that, because a large part of my dysphoria probably comes from hair, be it my facial hair, body hair, or even the hair on my head. I wear wigs because I have male pattern baldness, and it is something that causes a great deal of dysphoria for me and depression. There's sometimes I look at it and I don't know what to do about it. It feels hopeless, and I don't know. So I'm really hoping hormones will tackle some of that and help it out. And if I have to find a way to pay for hair transplants, then that's what I'll do. It's, like I said, it's a large part of my dysphoria. All that hair related stuff is a large part of my dysphoria. I'm hoping laser hair removal helps with my facial hair. I'm hoping hormones reduce the body hair and increase the hair on my scalp and fill that in. It can do wonders for some people with the right genetics, and some people it doesn't really do much. So far, I haven't had much, and it's a bit concerning for me, but it is still early, and I keep being told that by everyone I'm in contact with that is transgender and has been through this. It's early. Things are going to happen. You just have to be patient. But as somebody that's been waiting for 41 years to step in front of a mirror and see themselves, it's very hard to be patient. I'm ready for things to happen, and it feels like it's happening all too slowly. But beyond that, I am concerned about the political environment in the world these days. I live in a red state, so it's not the best place to be right now, with a lot of the laws that are being passed to criminalize being transgender, being a drag queen, being LGBTQ of any kind. So it's a difficult time in the world to come out and transition, but I have to. And that was another reason that really pushed me towards starting, is with the state of the world, I don't know what it's gonna be like 6 months down the road, or next year when there's a a new president, whoever that is. I don't know whether I'll be able to continue to try and be myself or if it'll be taken away from me. So I have to do it before then. I have to do it before too many laws get passed and too many things happen that are going to prevent me from becoming myself. I have to see her. I have to show her to the world, and I really hope by the end of the year I can get there and start living full time. I have a lot of things that I want to do. I'm kind of waiting to see what hormones do as far as affecting my body and my face and my hair and things like that. But I am prepared if I'm still not happy. I will get breast augmentation. I will get facial feminization surgery. I do want SRS at some point. I don't know when that will happen. I believe it is covered by my insurance as well as breast augmentation. So the only thing that I would really have to figure out how to pay for is the facial feminization, which is pretty expensive, and don't know how I will do that, but hopefully I can figure that out when the time comes. If I decide that I do want it. I definitely would like to. I'm not happy with the way my nose looks. It's kind of bulky. My chin as well. And there are things that I want to change. And that's not a bad thing. A lot of the times I think people take changing yourself as not being in love with yourself. And that's not necessarily the case. I just have a different version of myself in my head that I love. And that's who I want to be. That's who I want to show the world to. I don't hate the face that I see in the mirror all the time, but when I can still see the male me, I don't like it. And that's the point I want to get to. I want to be able to look in the mirror and maybe not be 100% happy with the way I look, but not see a male, not see the old me in the mirror. I want to see Violet. I want to see me. And whatever I have to do, I will do to do that. It may be a long journey. It's going to be a long journey. And I'm only 16 days in. But I am hoping it goes well. I am hoping coming out at work goes well. And in a few months, I'm hoping I have some good results from HRT starting. And just that will be enough for me right now, I think. Just having something I can look at and see things are happening. I'm moving forward. I am slowly becoming myself. I'm excited for that. And I'm excited for the future for the first time in a long time. It's been a difficult 41 years, but I think the next 41, hopefully, will be a lot better. I will get to finally live my life as who I am and show the rest of the world and be accepted, I hope. And anyway, this is just the first video. I think I'm probably going to post more. I will try most definitely to post more and give updates. I plan on posting a video as soon as I start to get some results and can tell you guys what's going on with me and where I'm at. I'll also try and make updates with big life events and things that are exciting me. So if you are interested in following my journey, feel free to subscribe to my channel and feel free to comment in the description down below. I'll do my best to read all of them. I'm sure I'm not going to get many, but and probably most of them will be hate, but it is what it is. I will do my best to communicate with those that want to be communicated with and answer any questions I can. Realize I am still very new and still learning, but I will help anyone out with questions that I can as far as the knowledge that I have. So I guess for now, I will say goodbye, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.